What is up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. I'm here with my co-host Heather C. Unexpected on TLC Season 5, Episode 3. This is Part 2 of the podcast. We have a lot to talk about. So Kylan and Jason have visited the birthing center. So the birthing center is a natural birth center where you have a midwife and you have a tub for a two-people tub and you give birth. And the first question she asked was if she wanted an epidural. And Kylan replied yes. Jason said the answer to that is no. So it makes us wonder, is Jason making the decisions for Kylan in her pregnancy? And is he making decisions that are best for her or best for his situation? And I think her parents feel the same way. We know that he visited a hospital with Kylan and he didn't like the vibes that he got. He felt like they didn't respect teen fathers in the situation and they felt like he wouldn't be a part of the birthing process, which is important to him, which I admire. A lot of guys want to avoid the birthing process at all costs. So I admire that he wants to be a part of it. But is it really fair that he's making decisions that affect Kylan's body and the pain tolerance that she might have?
I think that it's her body, her choice. I think that he needs to check in with her more. I
Yeah.
agree with her father 110% when he says that the plan is more suitable for Jason instead of his daughter. I think that it's more so the simple fact that he just wants to be part of it. I don't think he might necessarily care where it's done, if epidural is part of it, because he looks at it like midwives don't do the actual medicine. Everything is natural, everything is whatever. So he was like, watch what you say, because if you say you want an epidural, then she's going to be like, well, then you need to go to the hospital. This is the wrong place for it. So I think it's more so he's looking at it as, what can we do so I can be part of the whole entire process? Which there's nothing wrong with him thinking that way, because I'm glad that he wants to be part of this whole process. It is his child, it's, his first child, and he just wants to be part of the whole process. But I think ultimately he needs to check in with her, because it's her body. She might not want to go through all that pain. She might want to, have her mom there with her. So it needs to be both of their plan, not just his.
I agree. I feel like they need to, like she said, come to agreements and decisions together. They need to have open communication. And Kylan kind of feels like there's no open communication. She made a comment in her interview. She said, if he doesn't get his way and things go the way he wants it to be, he's going to get really pissed off. And that's not a good way to start a relationship, especially having a child, because when it comes to a relationship that has a child brought into the mix, things are going to be on edge a lot, and tolerance of each other is important, and being able to speak your mind and being honest with each other is important, because when there's a child that needs you 24/7, no breaks, no clocking out, it's important that you guys understand each other. And I feel like he doesn't really understand childbirth. Most men don't. It's a very painful process. Some women can go through it without an epidural. Some women can't go through it without one. And there's a lot in between. But you have to get to know Kylan. You have to get to know her, and talking to her mom, talking to your family members. It's good and all, but everyone reacts to childbirth differently. And I just want them to open that communication up. And she needs a voice. She has to have a voice in this relationship. She's the mother. She's going to be his wife. She has to have a voice.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about Emerson and Mason. So apparently, Emerson used to have her driving permit and she let it expire. And her mom, Erica, told her, go get that renewed so you can get back on the road. You can start driving, be more independent. So Emerson was unable to get anyone at the BMV to answer the phone. So she kind of let things fizzle with getting that taken care of. And now Erica, unfortunately, is stuck taking them back and forth, because we all know Mason lives 1 hour away. So she's taking them back and forth, which has brought her to a compromise. She said that Mason can stay at her house and help Emerson, and they can spend time together as long as he stays downstairs on the pull-out couch. Ironically called the pull-out couch. I'm not going to get into that. But he doesn't feel like it's fair because they're in a relationship, and Emerson doesn't feel it's fair either. But they have to understand it's Erica's house, Erica's rules, and she wants to make sure that she's making good decisions for her daughter, because even though her daughter is becoming a mother, she's still just a little girl to Erica. So how do you feel about the house rules and keeping them separated?
I mean, I feel like ultimately, like you said, it's her house, it's her rules, it's her daughter. I think that if she gives in, then it's a sense of her condoning the situation, which she's dealing with it, but I don't think she condones it. I think she still wants to have some type of like she wants to have something over her, like I am your mom, my rules, my situation, even though she had already gotten pregnant and is kind of too little too late for the situation. It still, gives her that mindset that, hey, I'm still in charge, I'm your mom. I think that there's nothing wrong with her feeling that way, but I don't disagree with her being that way, because she wants to show her like, hey, I support you as my daughter and your situation, but I don't really support having him in my house playing house with you.
Mhm.
Like, you're still a child, you're my child. So like, focus on you and, let everything else put into play. So ultimately, whatever I think she's going to do her thing, she's the mom. So she's doing what she feels is best in that situation. That's all she can do.
Well, yeah. And regardless of age, when you're a parent, your child could be 40. They're still your child, and you're still going to
Exactly.
try and influence their decisions and try to help them. And the last thing you want to do is see your child make a mistake or make their life harder than it has to be. So we have
Right.
to understand that Erica is literally just being a mom, and this situation is completely unbeknownst to her because she didn't know what was going to happen. She didn't know what was going on. It sideswiped her, and she's trying to handle it the best way she knows how. And like she said, if she had any inclination of what was going on beforehand, she said she would have prevented it completely. So I feel like this is normal in the realm of what she would have done beforehand, and she doesn't really want to change her course of action for it. So I understand that, and I know
That's
that.
said perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing with Kylan. Kylan is always going to be, her dad's baby girl. She's a baby, and it's weird because your baby's having a baby, but you're always going to just have that mindset of that's my child. I want to make sure that they do everything to the best of their ability to make their life better and not make any mistakes. And I respect the parents. These are super supportive parents, super loving parents this season. We did see last season there was a couple whose their mom was not very supportive at all. And I loved seeing these parents uplifting their daughters, uplifting their sons, and showing them that just because this happens doesn't change the way I feel about you. That's what's important, and that's what we should take from this season as well. All right, guys, that's it for part 2. I want to thank my co-host Heather C. I'm George Mossey. This is the Unexpected Podcast, Season 5, Episode 3, Part 2. Make sure you're live tweeting with us every Sunday night, and we are going to talk to you all really soon.